It finally leaked. Days after the Vancouver Canucks management made veteran players available, we get an NHL insider revealing one name in particular that the Vancouver Canucks are actively shopping as Jim Rutherford and Patrik Allvin continue pushing this team into a different direction with younger pieces coming back. We're going to break down this report revealing the one key player the Canucks are looking to move first and so much more, including the implications that has on the future of this team in this episode, and you're not going to want to miss it. But before we get into that, just want to give a huge shout out to everyone watching. If you're a part of the 57% watching and you haven't hit the sub button yet, but you want us up to date on everything to do around the Vancouver Canucks, including trade reports like this, make sure to go down and hit that free subscribe button. It would mean the world, and in return, we'll give you daily updates from all around the team. But with that, let's just go straight into it today, where we know the past couple of days have been a bit of a frenzy for the Vancouver Canucks. We got the report just a couple of days ago coming from Elliotte Friedman. The Canucks make veterans available, but not Quinn Hughes at this time. Now with this, there's a lot of speculation flying around these players. The team itself, as Jim Rutherford went into an interview and spoke yesterday saying that this team has to get younger. We have to get this team going in a different direction from where we've been. Now this is something that we haven't seen this management group speak on for quite some time. We know the JT Miller trade, we flipped that first round to go and get Elias Pettersson and more. This is a Canucks team that is finally admitting they cannot do it with a lot of these veterans. With this team getting younger, we start to get a clear picture on players moving out. Now, looking at the list, even with players not in the lineup, Teddy Blueger, for a prime example, is a piece that most likely will be moved out. We're going to touch on the one name that was brought up by a Canucks insider, but I mean, looking through the list, there's a lot of guys that hit the veteran mold. And for someone that isn't on a contract that extends past next year. Now, going straight into this report from Rick Dhaliwal, we do see the Vancouver Canucks have one name in mind. He drives the fan base here nuts with the penalties. He's one of the guys that when the Canucks sent out the memo last night, he's one of the guys that is going to get moved. There is no question, and this is speaking on Evander Kane. Now listen, a lot of fans have a different view on Evander Kane. Some people might look and say, hey, this guy is terrible. I might slide into that boat. Some people might look at this and say, hey, keep the tank commander on the team. But when this trade went down with the Vancouver Canucks, no one was expecting this season to go as bad as it has, and Evander Kane has not lived up to, I guess, quote-unquote hype that we expected with the hometown boy coming to the team. Now, going into this, Evander Kane has been not the greatest. We've seen 3 goals over 23 games, 11 points, and when diving into the stats on Evander Kane, these numbers should be a lot higher, but he is just not producing at all as a top 6 forward. Now, once again, 3 goals. He missed I believe, the entire regular season with the Edmonton Oilers last year, going into the playoffs, having a decent run. This is a piece that the Vancouver Canucks have to move on from. An aging player, 34 years old, 6'2". There's a lot of value around the league for a guy like Evander Kane. But when looking at the numbers on the Canucks, you can see the top 6 there are all defensemen and goaltenders. Moving down at 7, you have Petey with the most ice time for a forward. And right behind him is Evander Kane, which once again, I do not understand. Now looking at the 5-on-5 ice time, he is playing on the top line. He's going to get a lot of minutes, but he's not able to play on this power play. We see Adam Foote throwing him out into that top line. As soon as I find it there, I still don't understand the fascination of having Kane here unless you're trying to build value for him moving forward. Now we're going to break down one team in particular that Kane is most likely going to be moved to, but the biggest thing is you have Evander Kane on this top line. You're hoping that he has a bit of a breakout. You increase the value, but with the way he's playing, with the way the Vancouver Canucks are utilizing Evander Kane, we're finally getting off this guy's contract. And listen, this is the biggest thing with Evander Kane. Pius Suter signed for about $4 million. We've seen this happen with the St. Louis Blues. We're paying this guy $1 million more to play a position of not a need for the Canucks. I mean, looking down the middle, if once again we had Pius Suter, the centers look so much better. Bringing in Evander Kane pushes Kiefer Sherwood down the lineup. Brock Boeser, Conor Garland, these guys are not getting the opportunities for some reason to play on this top line. Canucks fans, before we go further into this, what is your thoughts on Evander Kane, and would you move on from him sooner rather than later? But the biggest thing is, looking at the trade partners we're getting off of Evander Kane, the Canucks do have the opportunity to retain some salary, $5.125 million. The last year of his deal, a UFA at the end of it. Teams are going to call on this. There is a value to add a workhorse, a powerhouse to a team that wants to compete. If Evander Kane's on your third line going into the playoffs and healthy, this is a very good piece for a contending team. And I'm not just trying to upsell you like a car salesman. I could just tap it and say, hey, listen, this is what you want. But the big thing with Evander Kane is if you retain half the salary, the closer you get to trade deadline, and listen, the Canucks are going to make this move well before. This is going to happen before Christmas. We know from the reports itself that is not a question. He's going to get moved. And we've seen Rutherford speak himself and say, hey, we could wait till deadline, but let's get ahead of the pack. This is a team that can sell Evander Kane at half retains. You only have to deal with it for one season and then it's off the books, unlike the OEL buyout. But this is a Canucks team that can flip this. Now, going in to the trade that acquired Evander Kane, we've seen the Canucks sent out a 2025 fourth round pick 117 to the Edmonton Oilers to bring Kane in. Now with this, you're expecting more value. This is a one-year deal for the Canucks to trade off at half retained for a guy that's not producing, but still value within the organization. I mean, if we're looking at this, listen, he doesn't bring value some nights, he can get in people's skins, but we know how this clip end up finishing. This is a guy that people are going to look at, and there's one clear team in particular that is missing Evander Kane when looking at social media, when looking at their on-ice play. The Edmonton Oilers are seeming like, and I seen the tweets before we did this trade, or just after, that hey, wouldn't it be funny if we took him on, retained him, and sent him back? But I think the Canucks can gouge a guy like this and the Edmonton Oilers, Stan Bowman, to get a third-round pick. You get a slight upgrade to take on a bit of the contract. You could try for a second. That might not happen. But this gives the Canucks the opportunity to send Evander Kane back. Hopefully he sucks over there too, sending them into a spiral. But fans, what is your thoughts? What is your thoughts and value on Evander Kane? Is this a piece you would like to sell off right now to get a young guy, or even a guy like Brock DeBrusque? Sherwood, anyone else into that top six or top line? What's your thoughts on this? How much would it take to trade him? Would you hold on to him and see if his value goes up? Let us know all your thoughts down in the comments. And speaking on comments, let's go straight into comments of the day. Coming through with Right Rocks, and they say, man, I wish I could play poker with Jim Rutherford. And listen, he reveals everything, which is fun in a sense, but also stressful. Like I said, go check the video out yesterday because I covered the entire interview, and that was crazy what he spoke on. But I do like that the team is semi, or at least saying they're going into a direction, because I felt like we haven't had this for quite some time. But Canucks fans, go down and leave a comment down below on all your thoughts around this team. Do you want me to start doing prospect videos, looking at some top 5 picks, as that's where it looks like the Canucks will be drafting? Let me know all your thoughts and what you want to see down in the comments. But that'd be it for this episode. If you guys enjoyed it, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, share this with your friends. We'll be back in another episode, so keep your eye out for that. But I've been your host, Mark. Bye, and take care, Canucks fans.